Hello guys, today we're going to work on 5.5 systems of inequalities. Here we have example 1. Graphing a linear inequality in two variables, 2x minus 3y greater or equal than 6. So let's go ahead and write down the steps. Step 1. Replace greater equal less equal, greater less with equal sign and graph it. So then we're going to draw a solid line for greater equal less equal and then draw a dashed line for greater and less. Okay, let's see how we do this. First, let's go ahead and write down this inequality, turn it into a equation. So that will be 2x minus 3y equal to 6. And then we're going to go draw this. So let's just go ahead and write it down. Y equal to mx plus b form. Then we're going to draw from there. So we're going to subtract 2x both sides. That will be negative 3y equal to negative 2x plus 6. And then we're going to divide this negative 3 every single term. Okay? Then that will be y equal to 2 over 3x. Then 6 divided by negative 3, that's just negative 2. So once we have this, we know m is your slope, right? So in this case, our slope is m equal to 2 over 3. And then here, that's my y-intercept. This is a little bit review, okay? So then we're going to start with negative 2. Where's negative 2? Then y-intercept is right here. Maybe I'll use a different color. That is my intercept, negative 2. And then from there, we know the slope is rise over run. That means to start the negative 2, 1, 2 going up. And then we're going to go right 3. And then we're going to have, maybe change different color, 1, 2, 3. So that is my point. So then we're going to connecting those 2 points. So before we draw the line, so let's make sure what kind of line should this going to be. Because we have the greater equal sign, which is the equal sign, is very important, we're going to actually draw a solid line. Okay, I'm just going to use right color, draw a solid line, because it's the equal sign included. Okay, so once we have this, that finish our step 1. Let's go ahead and work on step 2. Step 2, choose a testing point that is not on the line. Step into the original inequality. Let's go ahead and pick a point. You can pick any point, okay? So I'm going to pick the easiest point, 0, 0. So I'm going to write this. This is my test point. Okay, let's see what happens. So I'm going to plug this inside. So my original inequality is 2x minus 3y greater than or equal than 6. So we're going to sub 0, 0. So that will be 2 times 0 minus 3 times 0. And then we're going to check, is it going to be true or false? Is it going to be greater or equal than 6? It's going to be 0 greater than 6. Is it true? No, it's a false. Because this is a false, that means we'll have to shade the another side. Okay, the opposite side. So which is right here. This side. So that is our final solution. So we finish this question. Okay. Example 2, graphing the inequality without using testing points. Let's see how this works. We have a graph each inequality in a rectangular coordinate system. The first one, A, is y less than or equal than negative 3. First, let's look what is y equal to negative 3 look like. Because y equals negative 3, if you can recall from algebra or pre-algebra, you have learned y equals to negative 3, just a horizontal line. So let's go ahead and get ruler. So where is negative 3? It's right here. Okay? So then we also have to check, is it solid line or is it dashed line? Because we have this equal in there, okay, this must be a solid line. So that is my y equals negative 3. Okay, that is our line. And then now we have to think, if we say it's y is less than or equal to negative 3, that means everything below this must be our solution. In this case, you really didn't have to do a testing point. Alright, so you are done. Let's go ahead and look at part B. x greater than 2. So first we're going to graph x equal to 2. Then we say x is equal to 2. So we actually have a vertical line. So let's go ahead and graph this. Again, you have to think, are we going to draw a solid line or dashed line? Since we only have a x greater than 2, there's no equal sign involved in here, so we have to draw a dashed line. Now we have to think x is greater than 2. So that means everything on the right hand side, that must be our solution. Okay, because it's everything on the right hand side that is greater than 2. Okay, example 3, graphing a nonlinear inequality in 2 variables. So here we have to graph x squared plus y squared less than equal than 9. First step, write down x squared plus y squared equal to 9. Then we can think, okay, I saw this before somewhere. So let me just help you a little bit. Because you have learned x squared plus y squared equal to r squared. That is actually a circle with center 0, 0, and then radius, that is your r. Okay, so let's go ahead and rewrite this as x squared plus y squared equal to 3 squared. Then we know our r in this case is just going to be 3. Let's graph this. Okay, so once we draw the circle, we also have to double check, okay? Because this, should we do a solid or dashed line? Because this is in the form including less equal than 9. That's why it's a solid line. So once we have this, step 2, we need a testing point. So which one you want to test? I'm going to pick again the easiest testing point, 0, 0. So we're going to test it 0, 0. That means I have to bring this 0, 0 to the original inequality. That will be 0 squared plus 0 squared, because both x and y is 0. And then we're going to check, is it going to give you less equal than 9? So we simplify this, and then we're going to say, okay, is it 0 is less than 9, which is true. We're going to shade the area where the test point is. Okay, in this case, that means my answer that will be inside this circle. So that is my solution. Alright, so we are done. Example 4, we have to graph the system of linear inequality. Okay, let's go ahead and work on the first one. Before we graph anything, write this x minus y equal to 1. And then from here, I can actually rewrite this as negative y equal to negative x plus 1. Now we divide by negative 1 every single term. So then that will give us y equal to x minus 1. So then we're going to realize, okay, my b, in this case, b is negative 1. That is my y-intercept. I'm going to find this. That will be negative 1 is right here. Okay, that's my first point, is a y-intercept. Then because my m, in this case, my m is 1 over 1, right? That means I'm going to rise 1 unit, and then we go to run, which is right 1 unit. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to have 1 and then 1 unit. So we're going to have the second point right here, rise 1 and right 1. Before we draw the line, we have to think, are we going to have a solid or dashed line? Because this is right here, it's less than, it doesn't include equal. So that means I'm going to draw a dashed line. Now we have to do a testing point. So again, we're going to test this 1, 1. It doesn't mean you can't not test the other points. Okay, we're going to test it 0, 0 because it's just easy. It's not on the line either. So now we're going to testing this. Sub this into the inequality. I'm just going to recopy it. So let's do the substitution. Then we're going to have 0 minus 0. Is it less than 1? The answer is yes, it's true. 0 is less than 1. And then we're going to shade the part contain this point, which is going to be, we're going to shade this side. Then we're going to go ahead work on the second inequality. 2x plus 3y greater or equal than 12. So I'm going to rewrite this as 2x plus 3y equal to 12. And then we can do the same thing. Perhaps you can using the x and y intercepts. Okay, let's try that method as well. So we're looking for x-intercept. We replace y equal to 0. then it'll be equal to 12. Then we can find this. That will be 2x equal to 12, then x equal to 6. The x-intercepts, the answer, that will be 6, 0. Okay, we do the same thing. Let's go ahead and find the y-intercepts. That means we're going to replace the x equal to 0, or you can say set x equal to 0. That will be 2 times 0 plus 3y equal to 12. And I'll do the same thing. Then that will give you y equal to 4. My y-intercept, that means it's 0, 4. Okay, we're going to have 6, 0. 6, 0 is right here. Okay, we'll use the purple color. And then 0, 4, that is right here. 0, 4. Okay, that's pink. So that's my two intercepts. We can graph this. In this case, because of this right here, all right, that means it's a solid line. And then now we have to think, okay, we need another testing point. So since the 0, 0 is not on the red line, so we can use that as a testing point as well. So we're going to test the 0, 0 again. For the second inequality, let's just plug it in. That will be, we're plugging in here. That'll be 2 times 0 plus 3 times 0. I'm going to check, is it going to greater or equal than 12? So in this case, if you compare them, that is not true. So that means it's a false. Then we have to shade other side. In this case, you have to think, alright, you have to block the other line right now, okay? And then we're going to shade the other side. That means I have to shade, I'll just use a different shape now, okay? So let's just do some circles. And then you're going to observe, okay? Or wherever's overlapping, that is your final solution. So in this case, the overlapping part is right here. That's why this is your final solution. Example 5. So graphing a system of inequality, let's look. The first inequality is y greater or equal than x squared minus 4. The first one, so I'm just going to rewrite this as y equal to x squared minus 4. Then we look at this. Again, of course, you can do a step by step and then plug in the points. You can always use that method. However, when you look at this is just a parabola. If we're going to find the x-intercept, so we're going to set y to 0. That will be 0 equal to x squared minus 4. Then we can solve this. That will be x plus 2. Then multiply x minus 2 equals to 0. We're just move the 0 to another side. Then we're going to find the x equal to negative 2 or x equals to 2. So my x-intercept is just going to be negative 2, 0, and 2, 0. Okay, that is my x-intercept. So it's right here. And then we also, let's look at the y-intercept. So when we're looking for a y-intercept, we're just going to set x equals to 0. So that means I can write this as y equal to 0 squared, or just do the substitution, right guys? That will be y equal to 0 squared minus 4. In this case, that will be y equal to negative 4. The y-intercept is 0, negative 4. So let's go ahead and find that. That will be 0, negative 4 is right here. Once we find this point, of course you can find a couple other points as well to graph this. But since I know this is a parabola, so I'm just go ahead and graph this very quickly. Before we graph this, again we have to think, is it solid or is it dashed line? Again, because of this includes equal sign there, this is a solid line. Of course, this graph is just approximating, okay? You could plug in a lot more points. So once we graph this, again, we have to figure out what is the testing point. As always, we like 0, 0 because it's just easy to calculate. So it doesn't mean you can't use other points. Just remember, you can't test the points. It's on the line, okay? So in this case, 0, 0 is not on the line, so I'm going to go ahead and test. That will be 0 greater or equal than 0 squared minus 4. And then we're going to say, is it true? Is it 0 greater than negative 4? The answer is true. That means we're going to shade the side contains these points, which means it's inside here. So we're done the first inequality. Second inequality is x minus y greater or equal than 2. Before I do anything else, let's just get this out of the way. Because here we have this equal sign in there, and I know right away this is a solid line, okay? And then let's go ahead and graph this. That will be x minus y, set it to equal to 2. Then you're going to have y equal to x minus 2. Alright, you subtract x both sides, and then you divide by -1. So I just skip that step. And then again, so for this case, you're going to have the y-intercept is -2. And then we're going to rise over run is 1/1. So let's go ahead and do that. So the -2 is right here. So -2. Okay, so we had this point. And then we're going to say rise over run. So I'm going to rise 1 point and then 1 point. Okay, so that means my second point should be right here. Around the color. Second point is right there. I'll use a block now. Okay, the second point, that is rise over run. Now we're going to draw the line really quickly. We said this is just going to be a solid line. Okay, so once we draw this line, then we have to testing the points again. So because 0, 0 is not on the line, so we're just going to test right here, 0, 0. In the inequality, that will be sub this into that will be 0 minus 0. We're going to check, is it going to be greater than 2? And then you check, the answer is no, 0 is not greater than 2. That will be false, which means we're going to shade the other side. Again, you have to imagine there's a problem is not there, and then only the lines there. So the other side, that will be something this side. Right, so we said we're just going to do something like this. It doesn't really matter what you use. Okay, so then we have to realize, okay, where is overlapping in this case? And then you realize the overlapping is really this tiny part right here. Alright, the yellow part, that is the overlapping part. I probably should zoom in a little bit. Okay, the overlapping part, that is your final solution. I'm sorry for the extra mess right there. Alright, so that is how we graph this. Thank you very much for watching this video. I apologize for the extra noises today. See you guys next time.